Hello everyone, this is Devam Trivedi. I'm a master student in robotics at Worcester Polytechnic Institute, and today I'm gonna study the paper Physical Fatigue Analysis of Assistive Robot Teleoperation via Whole Body Mapping. Teleoperation relates to the control of robots via humans through whole body movements, offering an intuitive interface for human robot interaction. Teleoperated robots, such as assistive robots, play a crucial role in enhancing the quality of life for individuals with disabilities. On the left, we can see two images, and on the right also we can see an image that corresponds to practical applications of how teleoperation operating in robots takes place. We can see over here that the robot is mimicking actions performed by humans in as close manner as possible. However, this teleoperation leads to a challenge of fatigue. That is, prolonged teleoperation leads to operator fatigue, thus impacting the performance and well-being of the operator. In this paper, the robot used is the Telerobotic Intelligent Nursing Assistant, or TRINA. This is a nursing robot which has multiple sensors, cameras, screen for interaction, wheels as a base for movement, and also arms and manipulator joints, which are parallel manipulators, which can help for conducting the task. Trina has multiple input device support, such as via joystick, keyboard, mouse, haptic feedback, game pads, or even augmented reality headsets, such as Oculus or the Microsoft Kinect camera. The ideal environment that Trina was designed for is to work in hospitals and at nursing stations. In the paper, certain tasks have been performed to identify the issue that takes place due to teleoperation. These tasks involve moving a patient transfer bed, preparation of food, scanning of a barcode, and cleaning of patient beds. All these outputs upon prolonged duration leads to physical fatigue. Physical fatigue during telerobotic operating surgery also causes muscle tremors, which affects the quality of teleoperation in a negative way, which can many a times be life-threatening. Increased fatigue results in reduced performance during the operation of unmanned ground vehicles. Over here, muscle fatigue is referred to as the exercise-induced reduction in the maximum capacity to generate force or power output for a particular task. Fatigue can be measured using various methods, such as using force, power, and torque, or taking into consideration the heart rate and the circadian rhythms. In this paper, surface electromyography, or SEMG, have been used. The methodology of this paper involves connecting a human to the Trina robot. The upper body of the human is mapped to the upper body of the robot, and the lower body of the human operator is connected to the lower body of the robot. The mapping of actions from human to robot, that is the teleoperator to Trina, is conducted using motion mapping using various sensors and actuators. This study takes into consideration involvement of 6 participants, where each participant performs 3 tasks, and after in 3 iterations, and after each iteration of every task they take a sufficient amount of break so that they are rested before performing the next task. The tasks involves collecting items and putting them into a box, that is a container, as we can see over here in the image A. Second task involves stacking of discs on top of each other and then destacking them. The third and the final task involves putting a bunch of clothes into a laundry basket and then picking them up back and then putting into the original position. All these tasks were monitored and measured, and data collection was taken place. The aim of this experiment was to evaluate muscle fatigue that was developed during teleoperation and to identify the movements that causes primarily these fatigues. The electromyographic signals that came from the participant are subjected to 2 analyses. The first analysis is where the signals are passed through a high-pass filter and undergone a full-wave rectification, after which it goes through clipping by the low-pass filter, and we get the graph as seen over here on the left side. This is known as a muscle effort analysis, and it is used to determine the appropriate signal threshold that is required for the muscle contraction. The recorded EMG signals are within the 40 to 700 Hz range in the spectrum domain. The others analysis that has been taken is known as the fatigue analysis, in which the EMG signals are passed through a bandpass filter, subjected to a fast Fourier transformation, and subjected to spectral analysis. This leads to the development of and the reading of fatigue analysis, which is used to determine the threshold of the signal at which fatigue starts. That is the threshold that is known as the fatigue threshold. On the left side, we can see the formula that is used for computing the spectral index, which then is used for using the fatigue. The spectral index that calculates the fatigue takes into consideration the frequency that is being represented by the signal, the bandwidth of the signal, and also the EMG power frequency spectrum in a certain order k. We have two results over here. One relates to the muscle effort analysis and other to the physical effort analysis. Talking about the muscle effort analysis first, we can see over here that muscle effort that are measured using the duration of muscle contraction with respect to the task completion time. Over here, we have taken into consideration the three tasks, that is collecting, stacking, and laundry. Each task has three types of participant groups. There is a group which uses their muscles low, medium, and high. That is, two people used their muscles in a capacity low range, whereas three participants used their medium muscles, whereas three participants had higher activity of their muscles. The maximum muscle fatigue, maximum muscle that faced the effort were the biceps and trapezius, and that is why we are considering the two for this particular analysis. For all the three tasks, people in the high muscle group used both their triceps and trapezius muscles much more compared to the low and medium groups, as we can see over here in the graph. This led to the observation that biceps and trapezius are the muscle groups which are generally much more engaged during teleoperation tasks. There is no significant difference in time completion between the groups of users who had high muscle usage and the groups of people who had lower muscle usage. The group of low muscle effort tends to be, however, more familiar with the robot motion and the posture. The second type of result analysis stems from the physical fatigue analysis, where we are considering four different types of muscles, that is the biceps, triceps, and the two types of deltoid muscles, that is the middle and the anterior muscles, as we can see in the diagram. Over here, the observations that can be made is that over here also trapezius and biceps tend to be more fatigued than the middle deltoid and the anterior deltoids. Collecting and stacking tasks caused more fatigue than the laundry tasks. That is, the first two tasks caused much more fatigue than the laundry task. We can plot a graph in which the micro actions that has been taking place into the teleoperating task can be differentiated, and we can map them to the amount of fatigue that will take place because of that particular action. For example, actions such as holding a steady pose or aligning of objects, along with raising arm or grasping small object and even adjusting camera, causes much more fatigue compared to tasks such as picking objects or grasping a large object, or placing an object somewhere and carrying grasp objects, or lifting the left to change the camera. This takes lesser amount of task operation fatigues. Physical demand levels of the task can be mentioned as stacking takes the highest amount of fatigue, as we can see from the graph above, followed by collecting, and laundry takes the least amount of fatigue to complete the task. This is majorly due to the amount of precise manipulation and active perception that is required on all these three tasks. This paper presents the first study on physical fatigue with respect to teleoperation of robots by humans. It identifies the specific task characteristics and actions that induce fatigue in humans. Automating the fatigue-inducing teleoperation tasks that take more place, as we saw in the earlier slide, could help reduce the physical fatigue and enhance usability and performance of the user. This study is, however, limited to a specific robot platform, that is Trina, and a task set, that is collecting, stacking, and laundry. But the methodology that has been applied over here can be applied to other platforms and guide robot autonomy design. Due to the variation in fatigue levels and muscle groups across various participants, the average fatigue indices may not very accurately reflect the significant differences, and thus will require a larger sample size to establish a more reliable fatigue threshold. Future work on the paper will focus on studying gender differences in fatigue, the role of partial automation in reducing fatigue, and the interaction between the physical and the mental fatigue. Thank you.